There's graves. There are the graves.
Gunfire, bro. He actually heard gunshots. Did we not, Zach?
Oh, shit. I need help down here. Daniel, you all good? Fuck, he's underneath it.
Oh, man.
Sometimes the outdoors can turn dangerous in ways no one expects. Two climbers suddenly lose their footing and begin crashing down a deadly mountainside. While deep inside a dark forest, campers discover someone may have been silently watching them from the trees. When a normal adventure turns dangerous without warning, how would you react? On March 13th, 2024, the YouTube channel Topcat AK captured what seemed like a normal winter crossing in Denali, Alaska. The channel features snowmobile expeditions through isolated terrain. That day, the group was moving across the Tulitna River, checking the ice, keeping their pace, staying alert. Then, one step changed everything. The group had been crossing the frozen river the way they probably had before, steady, careful, with no obvious warning signs ahead. Then, one of them stepped onto a section that gave no sign of danger. The ice collapsed instantly, and in a single moment, he was gone beneath the surface.
Oh, shit. Daniel, need help down here. Daniel, you all good? Fuck, he's underneath it. Hold on, buddy. I can't get it up. I need some help.
Above, the others remained on solid ground. Below, he was pulled through freezing water, trapped beneath a sheet of ice with no clear way out. That frozen layer quickly became the biggest barrier between him and the people trying to reach him.
This side, Jeff.
Jaden, run around by him. Move my helmet off.
I don't know. I don't want to let go.
Just grab him. Grab his arm and release him. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Grab his other arm.
Good. Grab him. Come on, guys.
They reacted fast. They repositioned through ropes and tried to work together, but the ice under them kept cracking with every shift in weight, bending under the pressure. With careful positioning, they finally reached him. It wasn't smooth or stable, but it worked. From there, they pushed against the current below while dealing with weakening ice beneath their feet at the same time. Slowly, he pulled himself back onto the surface. Once his weight settled on solid ice, the immediate danger had passed.
1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Don't let it go backwards, boys. Yeah, let's pull forward.
Hold on. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Holy fuck. Oh,
Yeah.
The snowmobile was recovered shortly after, but even after it was over, the ice kept cracking beneath them. A quiet reminder that the river had never fully allowed them through. Crossings like this can fail within seconds, and there's rarely a second chance once they do. What do you think made the difference here? Quick action, teamwork, or something else? On July 25th, 2025, the YouTube channel Outwild shared footage recorded high in the Peruvian Andes. The channel documents raw mountain experiences most climbers never expect to encounter. The group was climbing a steep route where every step demanded careful attention. Then two of them moved across a section that looked stable and wasn't. The climb began smoothly. The terrain was challenging, but the group kept moving upward with focus, carefully reading the route ahead. Then the slope narrowed into steep rock and unstable snow. One climber held position lower on the route with the camera running as two others continued above. The section they were crossing looked passable. Nothing visible suggested what was underneath. Both lost their footing almost at the exact same moment. No warning, no obvious cause, just two climbers suddenly sliding on a slope that offered nothing to stop them.
Hey.
Hey, ¿todo bien?
Bien.
What happened next wasn't a controlled fall. It became a fast chain of impacts across uneven rock, each collision happening before there was time to react. The terrain gave them nothing to hold on to. Once the slide began, gravity completely took control. The outcome was confirmed afterward. Both survived suffering injuries that included broken bones, but no deaths. Watching the footage, that result feels far less likely than it sounds. The Andes give no warning for what comes next. Sometimes one unstable step is enough, and everything after happens too quickly to fix. Falls like this often begin with one small mistake that causes everything else at once. What do you think is harder to prepare for the terrain, or how quickly everything can go wrong? On October 8th, 2025, the YouTube channel Small Plots uploaded a video unlike anything Kevin had posted before. The channel normally focuses on quiet camping trips in overlooked places around the world. Practical, simple, sometimes humorous. But this time he picked a place with a completely different atmosphere. He decided to stealth camp beside Mount Hope Cemetery in Rochester, New York, a 200-acre burial site containing more than 350,000 graves. It began as a seasonal challenge. It was October, and Kevin admitted openly that he didn't believe in ghosts, almost treating the whole thing as a joke, as he slipped through a maintenance area to get inside undetected.
I do have to find somewhat of a place to squirrel away. I'm going to try and get up and out as soon as possible, but I don't know when the maintenance people come. I think if I just go over that way down a hill, I can get out without going back through that maintenance area, which is regardless of if I hear maintenance people arriving tomorrow morning. Oh yeah, there's graves. There are the graves.
The cemetery sat directly inside the city, surrounded by neighborhoods, sports fields, and busy roads. That setting made it feel stranger, not safer. This wasn't remote wilderness. It was a narrow wooded strip pressed against thousands of graves, sitting in the middle of everyday city life. He found a small hidden spot, only a few yards from headstones, close enough to make them visible through the trees. As daylight faded, the tension that built had nothing to do with the supernatural. It came from uncertainty. The cemetery was still active. Dog walkers moved through, cyclists passed along the paths, workers were due in the morning, and Kevin knew he had no right to be there.
It's nighttime now. Oh geez, I've been quiet for a while, and me doing that apparently disturbed something over there. I don't know, tons of animals in this tiny little patch of woods. Some might call it a forest, but it's time to eat. I've got this thing ready to go. It's maybe a little unorthodox, or maybe like super common. What I'm gonna do is I'm having hot dogs. I'm gonna just light this up, and I'm gonna cook the hot dogs on the flame of this thing. Well, that was a delicious meal. Really can't complain. It's kind of like weirdly good. Didn't expect it to be that good, just cooking it right on the isobutane there. Yeah, strange night so far. I don't know if you... What is that? It sounds like something falling on the tree, but like, oh God. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm dealing with back here. A lot of animals, a lot of strange sounds. Nothing like haunting or anything like that. Like there was a deer that like ran maybe 5 feet away from me, and I just shined my light on it and saw it that ran away real quick. I'm in a very small forested area in the middle of the city, so animals don't have a lot of places to go. Little small forested areas are very dense with animals. Still don't know what that was that I just heard. It was just like tick, 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 something just continuously happening on the other side of this tent. Not really sure what that was. I wish I could get more footage of the cemetery and everything, but even despite the fact that it's like one day away, maybe gunshot, it's too dark to film. Yeah, well, like I said, middle of the city.
The night filled with non-stop movement. Leaves crunched, branches snapped, and rustling never completely stopped. Deer moved through the trees only feet away. Small animals crossed the ground from every direction. At one point, he heard what sounded like sticks knocking together a hollow bone-like sound, coming from deeper inside the cemetery. He tried explaining it away. Maybe antlers hitting wood. Maybe people somewhere past the graves. Possibly. But that kind of explanation becomes harder to believe when you're alone in darkness beside 350,000 buried strangers.
There's something walking closer to me. It's probably a deer, but I'm gonna do something just in case it's not. Okay, it stopped walking, whatever it was. It didn't run away. I'm just gonna go with it. It's a deer. Oh man, I thought that was a deer's butt at first. Before I zoomed in, but there was a deer facing the other way. Yeah, well, this is what it's like here, next to the cemetery. You know, it's pretty chill. A lot of cool chill things happening. Just like Mondo chill, you know? I know you can't really see it.
Distant whistles drifted through the air. Faint, metallic noises echoed from deeper inside the grounds. The moon, nearly full, cast enough light to reveal headstones without making anything feel safer. The real shift happened just before sunrise.
Not quite sure what that sound was, but I'm in the tent now. I'm gonna hang out for a little while. You know, hear someone like on the tent, and I'm like, oh, who is that? My tent is like, it's like half mesh, probably more than half mesh. You can see outside. There's no secrets to anyone on the outside of the tent. There's no secrets to anyone on the inside of the tent. Well, I'm probably going to update more with like weird sounds and stuff, but if I don't, I'll see you guys in just a second. There's been something, probably a deer, walking around me all night, all freaking night. Sometimes it gets close. I hear it a little farther away, and I think that's actually maybe bone sound. That stick sound I heard was that buck maybe rubbing his antlers on stuff. I do know there's a buck walking around because I seen him. Oh no. I don't want to see that right now. It's most likely the workmen arriving for the day. It's like 6:30. Oh my god, there's just a vehicle over there. I'm screwed. I gotta go.
Around 6 a.m., headlights cut through the trees. A vehicle pulled into the maintenance area, the exact place he had entered through the night before. Then a second vehicle. Workers arriving for the day. The fear changed instantly. It was no longer about what might be inside the cemetery. It was about being discovered. He had to pack almost silently, surrounded by dry leaves that cracked under the slightest movement. Every zipper sounded too loud. Every motion felt exposed. His original exit was blocked. The vehicles were parked directly where he had entered, so he used a secondary deer trail he had noticed earlier, moving quietly while workers unlocked gates only yards away. He cleared the area just as the cemetery opened for the day. What made this different wasn't anything paranormal. It was the weight of being somewhere deeply historical, heavily human, and completely off limits, surrounded by graves in darkness, hearing sounds with no clear source, knowing there was nowhere to go if someone appeared with a flashlight. In the end, he escaped unseen, but the morning rush, headlights through the trees' engines idling nearby, packing in silence was enough for him to say he would never do it again. Sometimes the most unsettling part of a place isn't its history. It's the feeling of being somewhere you're not meant to be, with no escape if someone finds you. What do you think affected him more? The sounds in the dark or the headlights at sunrise? The disturbing video comes from Wright Adventure, a UK-based channel, run by Errol Wright, focused on solo camping, outdoor survival, and immersive exploration of unusual locations, often leading into a tense camping encounter. It is February 9th, 2023 in Pluckley, Kent, England.
Wow. Look at this. I think this is not going to happen. I might get out of here. I'm very much on my own. Oh, it's so dark. I'll see where I'm going. Okay. Can you see me? Yeah, see, that's the entrance. Just go around here. Oh, come on. A bit spooky. Definitely a bit spooky. Like a crypt.
Errol walks farther into the graveyard on the outskirts of Pluckley As darkness fully settles around him, using only a flashlight to guide the way, he moves between tombstones and narrow pathways, occasionally stopping to scan the area around him. The silence of the location is interrupted only by faint, distant sounds that seem louder against the stillness. As he continues deeper inside, the feeling of isolation grows stronger. The surroundings remain calm, but the combination of darkness and unfamiliar terrain begins weighing on him.
Hello. Oh, that made me jump. No, that really did make me jump just then. I think I've had enough. Yeah, I'm not so happy being out here on my own anymore. So we're going to go.
Creating a quiet but uneasy camping encounter atmosphere. Without warning, a sudden noise breaks out nearby. The sound is sharp and close enough to immediately startle him. His reaction is instant, cutting through the tension that had slowly been building during the walk. Realizing how exposed he is, alone in the darkness, he decides not to continue any farther. Errol heads back toward his camper van, choosing to end the exploration earlier than planned. Although nothing visibly unexplained is captured, the experience shows how powerful the setting alone can be. The combination of darkness, silence, and being alone in a place known for its reputation creates a level of tension that feels very real. If a camping encounter like this suddenly made everything around you feel different, would you stay or leave immediately? The encounter comes from the YouTube channel Brothers Wild, run by two adventurous brothers who went on a camping trip in North Wales near Wrexham to enjoy the scenery, cook a meal, and connect with nature. However, their trip took an unexpected turn when they encountered something unusual that ended the adventure early, turning it into a tense camping encounter.
So we're sitting here now and we're debating whether we should pack up or carry on, because that guy was a bit weird, wasn't he?
Well, basically, he came down, he was talking about all this random mad stuff, apocalypse and all this stuff, and then he started looking for diamonds in the water and said it was dinosaurs.
And the fact that he comes back here every night at 4 a.m.
And he said he comes here at 4, he stays here till like 4 a.m.
That we stay here all night.
And
so it's a bit iffy, you know, if he pisses off now and comes back with a load of glads. And
the last thing we want to do is be drinking whiskey, fall asleep, and then have, and, you know, we don't know what their intentions are, do we?
But at the moment, everything seems okay.
Yeah.
So we're just going to chill here for a bit longer, and no one comes in the next hour. And
we've had some foxes screaming at us again.
Yeah, more foxes are there, but we're not scared of the foxes. We're more scared of people than anything else in the wildlife.
The atmosphere changed when they noticed a man walking a dog near their campsite. At first they were not too concerned, but their unease grew when the man mentioned he often stayed in the area late at night. From that moment, the situation became more unsettling.
Look there, bro. What's over there? What? What's up there? Oh, shit! Ah, shit!
They then noticed a dark figure watching them from a distance and worried it could be the same man they had seen earlier. Feeling unsafe, they decided to pack up and leave.
But then, lo and behold, we're sitting there now, no phones, right? We turn our phones off, fire's on, we're drinking whiskey, chilling out, we're thinking, oh, in an hour's time we'll get some sleep. But then
I started filming a video.
He was filming a video and there was a shadow, right? And we thought, no way, right? What was he doing? He was by the trees anyway, crouched down, watching us. And
I don't know how long he was there.
It had to be that guy. It had to be that guy, because we're not scared of anything like
He was just literally crouched down about 20 metres away, probably a little bit less, and he was just staring
at us.
Not
a fox, not a fucking sheep, nothing like that. It was an actual person.
We were joking about stuff as well. Literally, as we're talking about it, there's a guy staring at us.
So, yeah, it's freaked us out.
Definitely not an animal. 100%
we ran off. This person's ran off into the woodland. We packed up and
he's down in the woods.
They were disappointed about not finishing what they had planned on the trip, but they understood that safety comes first in uncertain situations. Although there was no footage of the man, their reactions and the sudden ending of the video showed their fear. Fortunately, they left safely, but the experience remains a clear example of how quickly a normal trip can turn into a disturbing camping encounter. The video comes from The Wild Between Us, a Canadian van life and off-grid living channel run by Tanella and Carissa. Their content focuses on remote travel wilderness, survival, and life on Crown land, with their two husky dogs combining scenic exploration with the realities of isolation, often leading to a real camping encounter. It is July 8, 2024 in Manitoba, Canada, Crown land, near the Ontario border. After setting up camp in a remote clearing, Tanella and Carissa begin their evening routine. They finish showering and take care of small tasks and start relaxing with their dogs. The area is quiet and completely isolated, with nothing but forest surrounding them. While everything seems calm, the awareness of being alone in such a remote place creates a subtle underlying tension, setting the tone for a possible camping encounter.
Really, really good experiences in staying in Crownland, and, you know, lots of positive things to say. Do you want to tell us some of the story?
Yeah, we literally just had our showers and all clean. I was still working. I was in the front seat, and I was out of sight. A vehicle drive back and forth near us, and like, we're in Crownland, like there's not very...
Their dogs react before anything else becomes obvious. Cleo suddenly breaks her leash, barking aggressively, while Coda joins with deep protective growls. The intensity of their reaction suggests that the situation may be more serious than it first seemed.
Doing his bear growl, and I was like barely holding them back, and the guy was coming closer, talking to me, and I said, he keeps coming closer, even though I said that. I said, stay back, the dogs are not friendly. And he still keeps coming closer to me while he's still like coming into my space.
Passenger side door open, but we had like a big bug screen over it so I could work with the door open. I was debating what to do, and you don't know, like, being two females.
After several tense moments, the man eventually turns around and drives away. Although the immediate danger passes, the encounter leaves the couple shaken. The dog's instincts and Tanella's firm response help control the situation, but the experience leaves a lasting impact. By morning, they decide to leave the area, reinforcing the importance of awareness preparation and trusting instincts when facing a camping encounter in isolation. If this happened to you, would you stay or leave immediately? Kenny, an outdoor traveler, shares his adventures with viewers through his YouTube channel, Kenny of All Trades. On March 2nd, 2024, he set up camp beside a quiet lake, planning to spend some time ice fishing. Without warning, the flasher suddenly lit up completely.
Out of nowhere, the flasher completely lit up. And I'm thinking, is that all fish? But looks like it's just bubbles coming to the surface. There we go. There we go. What do we got? Sunny. Awesome. These are smelling delicious. I think it's time to come out. All right, taste test time. Look at that. Believe me, that's gonna be good.
After catching a few fish and making dinner, everything felt perfect. But once night arrived and he started getting ready for bed, things began to change.
This is strange. I came outside. Holy buckets. It's like 11:30 at night. Someone completely unloaded a magazine out here. At first I thought it was the lake, but no, not after that.
The sound of gunfire echoed somewhere in the distance, slowly getting closer. Then, just as suddenly, it stopped. Who or what was out there, and what exactly was happening? Feeling unsettled, Kenny locked himself inside his RV, hoping the rest of the night would pass without anything else happening. Thankfully it did, but he was left questioning what had really happened out there in the darkness. Ghost Theory is made up of two adventurers and paranormal enthusiasts traveling across the UK to investigate places known for strange activity, hoping to separate legend from fact. The video was uploaded on April 12th, 2026. The name may make it sound different, but these two do not create fake scares. Their style focuses more on real exploration and historical background than jumping at every shadow noise or moving thing. In this video, however, they decided to camp in what many people call the most haunted forest in all of the UK, and what they encountered had nothing to do with ghosts.
We've just arrived here in this beautiful forest, and obviously being the day, it's not so bad, but we're going to be exploring this forest to try and get to all the most haunted areas.
Epping Forest has stood here for thousands of years, once serving as a royal hunting ground for kings and nobles. This forest wasn't just a wilderness, it was dangerous. Outlaws used these woods as cover, disappearing into the trees after robberies along nearby roads.
There have been so many places for people to hide.
I mean, it still is currently 600 acres, but during Dick Turpin's time, this would have been more like 20,000.
That's bigger than it is now.
Epping Forest has been around for thousands of years. It once served as a royal hunting ground for kings and nobles during the medieval period. This was never only a peaceful section of woodland. Outlaws, highwaymen, and smugglers used these trees for cover, disappearing into the forest after carrying out robberies on the nearby roads. Darkness arrived quickly. Before long, the two were walking along the forest trail after dark, searching for a proper place to put up their tent and settle down for the night.
Just heard what sounds like a bottle.
Does it sound like rustling?
I mean, here is very, very campsite-y.
It's so silent here. Do you know they say just everything dies here? Like the sound dies, things don't live, and it is just silent. It's been so noisy.
You're right.
That is bizarre, isn't it?
We got the campsite set up as quick as possible so that we could begin investigating straight away. This is a time lapse, but not actually that quick.
After camp was set up, they walked through the trees to check whether anything unusual was taking place. They spent a good amount of time doing this. Nothing seemed out of place. They returned to the tent to relax, and that was when the feeling changed.
Red light was still on. Was it?
Come on, it's a recording, yeah.
I'm going to turn my light on because... Wow, that is...
Footsteps were heard right outside the tent. They went out to look around. Nothing could be seen. Whatever had caused the sound was either gone or no longer nearby. At least that was what they thought. They turned on an infrared thermometer to scan the tree line for heat signatures. What showed up on the device was enough to make both of them run.
Is that heat signatures in the water?
I don't know. It's just the log, isn't it?
Look. He's...
Where is that?
That's just across, literally straight across where the lights were coming from.
Yeah, thank you. That's enough for me tonight.
Yeah.
That is absolutely more than fucking enough for me tonight.
That's that's someone. Yeah. That's someone there.
Hello.
The shape of a man could be seen behind a tree across from them, partly hidden watching. The two quickly linked him to the footsteps they had heard moving around the tent earlier. The history of that forest made his presence feel much more dangerous than it might have felt somewhere else. They grabbed their equipment and left without hesitation. The chance that the man followed their movements all the way toward the forest edge made the entire experience worse. Places like this come with the real risks, and the danger is not always the kind the legends warn people about. A man hiding in the dark and watching two people at their tent is difficult to dismiss as simple curiosity. The forest has a long history of people using it to remain unseen, and that context makes the sighting no less disturbing. Do you think he was only a stranger passing through, or was there something more intentional in the way he watched them? This story shows how quickly an ordinary day outdoors can shift. One moment they were checking fishing equipment, and the next they were less than a mile from an active shooter situation. On September 8th, 2024, the YouTube channel State of Tate posted a video following Tate and his friend Zach during what started as a normal day on the lake. Tate is known for fishing content, usually capturing calm moments on the water, quiet lakes, wooded shorelines, and the type of outdoor footage where the main concern is whether the fish are biting. But while filming behind-the-scenes content for his second channel, that calm suddenly vanished.
Day out here on the lake. It's actually, like I said earlier in the day, it's pretty cool out here. It does have a fall feel. It's feeling pretty good out here. We got a giant bait out here as well. Of course, we got the camera equipment. And then we finally got this baby going after Zach cleared out the dead shiners in there that's been there for about 2 weeks.
They had just arrived at a secluded fishing area surrounded by dense woods and far from any obvious help when Tate's phone rang. At first it felt like a normal interruption, but within seconds that call changed the entire mood of the day.
Oh yeah, all right, toss them in the box. Where at? Seen cops go by. The cops went by us on the wrong side of the road, going back behind us. Gunfire, brother. We actually heard gunshots. Did we not, Zach?
The reality hit them hard. They were less than a mile from an active shooter situation. And even worse, their boat was not moving away from the danger. It was heading toward it. In that moment, the lake must have felt different. It felt like something could be hidden inside it.
We're literally going to be driving right by where the active shooter is. Like, actually. We've heard gunshots, and we're going to just try to be as fast as possible. It's actually true. Just for reference, right here's the map of where we are right now. No cap, not even kidding. It's really dangerous that we're even out here right now. So we actually had set out jugs the day prior. We wait till the end to check our jugs because it gives us the most time to catch a fish. And literally half of our jugs were less than a mile from where this occurrence happened. But we wanted to get any catches we could. It's also against the law not to check your jugs within 24 hours.
As they moved closer, the risk became impossible to dismiss. There were no crowds around them, no other boats nearby, and no way to know exactly where the shooter was. Out on the water, they were exposed with the forest closing in around the edges of the lake. Staying there could mean drifting towards someone armed and unpredictable.
There is not a soul up there. You know it? Not a flipping soul, and I don't blame them. The guy's supposedly in the woods right now, so I'm not just trying to build this up. It's pretty sketchy. Pretty sketchy. Right there it goes. Hold the wheel, man. You can see right there, guys. I feel like we're safe right here, right? Now that's 75 right there also. So he could be in those woods as well. We heard gunshots. Hopefully I got that on GoPro. It's crazy this is happening. Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife, just know that I'm committed. I just took on an active shooter to make sure I check my jugs every 24 hours. 7 people dead.
9 injured, 7 deceased.
7 dead, 9 injured. That's absolutely insane. That's pretty crazy. And then it literally happens a mile from you. Probably within a mile. Literally, we heard the gunshots. Did we not?
Yeah.
You do hear gunshots out here all the time? So he's literally coming this way.
He's at Wildcat, is where he's at.
Is he?
That's what it says.
Brother, that's it.
That's it.
That's it right there.
John said that the water plant is near where you are.
Yeah.
And the scanner people said that that's where he is.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally where we were at just a minute ago.
Well, I just was listening to it. It says he's exactly where you are. And John's like...
With almost no time to think, Tate and Zach chose to leave their equipment behind and get out. That decision may have saved them.
There's more than one?
Yeah, we heard, but
No, shoot.
I can't find any verification on that.
Dang.
That's not a good place to be.
That's not a good place to be, you know? He said that he has heard there's 2 active shooters now. So many people are heading away from London right now, which is where the active shooter is kind of supposedly at right now. That's where I live. Your boy's always strapped, okay? Always strapped. Old Second Amendment. That right there is the current situation. Cops everywhere. Cops everywhere up here right now at the intersection.
Joseph Couch was later named as the suspect. Authorities said he opened fire near Interstate 75, struck several vehicles, injured 5 people, then disappeared into the forest and set off a large manhunt. What Tate did not fully realize at the time was how close they may have been to becoming part of the story. If they had kept fishing gone back for their equipment, or carried the boat a little farther toward the wrong shoreline, they could have ended up in the danger zone. Couch's remains were eventually discovered in the same general search area by Fred and Sheila McCoy, a retired couple and YouTubers who joined the search after the reward was announced. Maybe they were never directly in the shooter's path, but when the danger is close enough to hear, and close enough to change your route that is already too close. If you were in their place, would you leave everything behind without thinking twice? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.